Hey everybody, all three of you that are watching, because I'm sure there's at least three of you now, and I'm so sorry for that. Took the glasses off this time, got smart, figured, hey, there's a glare coming from any light source onto my glasses, so technically right now I'm really blind and I can't see shit, except for that I'm holding my phone in front of my face. So if I if I keep doing this, that's because it's weird for me to be without my glasses right now. This is my ninth video blog, I think, and I wanted to do one. My family and I were just on vacation. Actually, we're still on vacation. Tomorrow we drive to Vegas for a couple of nights there. But we've been spending the last week on vacation. I went back to Iowa. It's my homeland. Excuse me. For my 25th high school reunion. 25 years. 25. Crazy, right? That I'm that old. And I'm sorry for the shaky. I'm holding the phone again. Anyways, there's some stuff I just wanted to say. I didn't want to come to this reunion at first. Everyone has a hard time in school. Growing up, we all go through our shit. Ups, downs, good, bad, all of that. I keep telling people, and it's the truth, this is honest to God truth, I have chosen to not just compartmentalize, I've chosen to delete out of my memory a lot of stuff from growing up. Never had a father around. My mom worked her ass off to provide for my brother, my sister, and I. We didn't have a lot of stuff, so obviously we weren't the cool kids, you know. I wrote a note on Facebook a while ago, basically mentioning how the friends that I did have, the very few friends that I actually did have, I really felt, afterwards, after I got out of school, I really felt that, you know what, they probably felt like, oh, poor Jeremy doesn't have any friends, he needs some friends, we'll put up with him. That's the way I felt, honest to God. I'm not fucking kidding you. That's how I felt. So, needless to say, high school, not so many good memories. Deleted a lot of information, a lot of memories from my brain. It was interesting going back, this last couple of days. We were in Spencer, where I went to school, high school, and as I'm driving down the street, the main street, certain things just popping out of my memory, stuff that I thought I had gotten rid of. So apparently I didn't delete as much as I thought I had deleted. A lot of stuff is still in there, it's just buried or something. But anyways, it was interesting. I still wasn't looking forward to the reunion. It was something that it's like no one's gonna recognize me, no one's gonna remember me. I'm the fucker who, when he had a free period, would go to the band room and either do my studies there or practice the drums, try to get better, that kind of thing. I wasn't exactly loquacious. I wasn't verbose. I didn't talk a lot. I had very few friends. The friends I had weren't exactly super close because I wouldn't let anyone in, you know? I came from a pretty strict spiritual Christian upbringing. So I wasn't allowed to do specific things, and you know what? I really didn't want to. When everyone else was going to parties on the weekends and doing whatever they were doing, and they were doing it, drugs, sex, alcohol, whatever, they were a lot of people from that high school were doing that shit, and that's cool, man, whatever, they made their choice, that's awesome. I wanted nothing to do with it. I wouldn't have minded having something to do, but at the same time, it didn't bother me that I wasn't out doing the party thing. I'm cool with that. It's part of who I am. It's part of who I've become, and all of that nonsense. So, anyways, at any rate, I didn't expect a lot of people when I came back to the reunion, other than people that I've been in contact with online, through Facebook, Twitter, social media. Other than them, I didn't expect anyone to remember me, recognize me, know who I am, know anything about me at all. Except to remember that, dude, you were the quiet one. But I remember that drum solo you did at the halftime of the basketball game. Because obviously I wasn't on the team. No. I could play, but no, I wasn't an upper echelon athlete in high school. So I got to do the drum solos in high school at the basketball games. And, mind you, got quite a few standing ovations for my solos. So, thank you, Mr. Ryan, for letting me do that. Thank you to all of the other pep band members who put up with my drumming, put up with the noise, so that I can jack off in front of the home and the away crowd behind my kit. And thank you for all the people who graciously stood up after I got done bashing the shit out of the drums, for the basketball games. But that's all I thought people would remember me by, the band dude, and that's about it. Quiet. Sure enough, as it would turn out, at the reunion last night when I went and got there and stuff, a couple people came up to me right away and were like, "Dude, I saw your picture in the memory book." Tracy Hurst, by the way, Mark Galbraith, Amy, well, she's not Ditzworth anymore. Grunmeyer? Yeah. The whoever did this, whoever planned the reunion, the class of 1988, 25th high school reunion, did a marvelous job, bang up job. I had a lot of fun. Didn't expect to have any fun whatsoever. Had a blast. So, awesome. Kick-ass job. You guys are A pluses in my book. Anyways, a couple people right off the bat, "Dude, when we saw your picture, man, tattoos, long hair, not what we expected. Didn't even believe that was you." Because of what I was in high school, man. Quiet, reserved, didn't talk much to anyone, just kind of did my own thing and was away from everyone else, and had a few friends, but no one ever got close because I wouldn't let them. Anyways, had someone else come up to me afterwards and said, not afterwards, but during, came up to me, pulled me aside and said, "Jeremy, brother, gotta let you know, when I came here tonight, I had a little list. There were a couple people I put at the top of that list of who would never get tattoos, who never look the way you look. This person, that person. These two guys were at the top of the list, right? I was right behind them. In his opinion, from what he remembered of me in high school, and he and I had played Little League Baseball together, Pony League. We were on the same team. He's a good dude. Funny ass fella. Sean Redding. You are a funny motherfucker. Always got a kick out of you, bro. But anyways, yeah, he came up to me and told me that a couple of guys ahead of me, but then like third on that list of people who would never have tattoos and never look the way I do, it was me. And I think he was surprised, man. And I think I surprised quite a few people at how I looked, the fact that I was there, the fact that I was engaging in conversation with people other than, my own couple of friends that I had in high school and all that. So it's always good to shock and try to get people to see who you are now as opposed to who you were. And so as far as that goes, that was kind of cool. Another thing that kind of was cool was that if you're watching this, chances are you've read some of my shit on Facebook. You've seen my posts. You've Oh my God, does this guy ever stop talking about his poops? Man, I need to know another bowel movement that you had, Jeremy. Talk about God one day, and then I'm swearing up a storm, cussing out some dude that did me wrong the next because I'm a shitty Christian. We had that talk last time, right? Everyone knows I'm a shitty Christian. All right. Anyways, I had a couple people coming up to me, people I didn't even know read my stuff online, saying how much what I write, what I post, they get a kick out of it. Even if they don't respond, they say that they love to read it and that it amuses them greatly. Now, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, because sometimes, like if I'm cussing up a storm and I'm getting all bent out of shape and pissy and moany, it's probably not a good thing that they're that amused, because I'm not maybe going for amusement. I'm just venting, and they're like, haha, oh, that Jeremy. When will he learn to stop being a silly, whiny bitch? That could be the case. Hopefully it's the other one where I'm trying to be funny, and they're getting it, and in that case, success! Woohoo! I can be funny, I guess. Sweet. It did my heart good to know that people were reading my stuff and getting some enjoyment out of it. It's always a good feeling. So that was pretty cool. It was awesome to see some faces that I haven't seen since fucking high school, since graduating 25 years ago. Facebook's been cool because it's really brought me close to some of these people. And others, it was just really good seeing them. Gotta say, it was cool seeing Heath Dirksen. It was awesome seeing Mark Stricker, Brad Fitzloff. Dude, I love you, bro. And of course, spouses and all that. It was awesome seeing Chris Rayling. Who else? Angie. It was awesome seeing you. Tracy and Amy, of course. Mark Galbraith. It was awesome seeing you, bro. You're just like I remembered. You have such a peaceful manner about you that just, I think it draws people to you, Mark. You're one of those guys that people gravitate around, feel like they could tell you anything, that you're going to have wisdom to impart to them, and I dig you, brother. Good. Darren Meyer, it was fucking awesome seeing you and talking with you. Sandy McCord, well, not McCord, Sandy Raveling, Chris's wife, it was awesome talking to you, and yes, I will call my mother. Alright? I'll call her. Stop giving me shit. So many other people. But the main reason why I wanted to record this tonight, well, two reasons. Two reasons total. One, Stephanie fucking Peterson. Awesome seeing you and talking to you. Your son, Sean, an amazing dude. I really, really, really enjoyed talking to him. Kid's got a bright future, and he's got just the right parents to support him. And I love how much you guys support him. It's amazing. And Doug, yeah, you're a pussy for not coming, but I hope the water is out of the basement and it didn't affect your house. So, anyway, two really big reasons why I was at this thing. The first was my buddy Scott Smith, who in high school we were never really super close to each other, but he was one of the first guys when I first moved here. Moved to Spencer from Sioux City, Iowa. When I first moved there, Scott was one of the first guys I came in contact with, and he was one of the first people that made me actually feel welcome. New kid, new school. I didn't feel like, that I was a worthless piece of shit that was going to get picked on from Scott. And that was cool, and even though we really weren't that close in high school or anything like that, he was always one of those guys, man, that you knew would be there for you if you needed him. And like that song, what is it? Blood on Blood, Bon Jovi, off the New Jersey album, where he's like, if I got that call in the middle of the night, I'd be right by your side. Blood on blood. Now you know why I'm a drummer. Anyways, Scott's one of those guys, man. And a couple years ago on Facebook, he and I hooked up, and not like that. He's got a beautiful wife and 3 children. I've got a beautiful wife and my own son that I love very much. We didn't hook up like that. Get your minds out of the fucking gutters. Anyways, Scott and I got back into contact through Facebook. And he had gotten a hold of me saying, "Hey dude, man, I remember this one time back in grade school. We were sitting together on the bus and you were telling me about Jesus." I was fresh, brand new to this school, man. Coming from a town, coming from a big town to a little town, not knowing anybody, and just having my faith, you know? That was pretty much all I had, my faith in my family at that time. And I don't even remember this conversation, but I guess I was talking to him about God on the school bus. And he was telling me on Facebook, you know, when we first got reacquainted, he was telling me about how much that conversation meant to him years later, that he never forgot that conversation. And him and we're turning out to be some pretty good friends right now. I know I'm pretty sure there's been a couple of times where we've shared stuff with each other back and forth when we were going through it, that we've been there for each other, just with encouragement and comfort and some scripture, just to guide and be a friend, you know. I love that guy so much. I have so much respect for him. And so one of the big reasons why I was at this reunion was because of Scott Smith. And he knows it. His wife knows it. I know it. Dude is a rock star in my opinion. He's a hard fucking worker. He's talented. He's a musician. Loves his family. Loves God. You know, isn't afraid to screw up and admit that he screwed up and then learn and grow. He's a great example for me, and I'm supposed to be the one setting the example. Well, he's a fantastic example of who I want to be when I grow up. So, Scott, thank you. And I love you, dude. Just like Bon Jovi said, man, if I got that call in the middle of the night, I'd be right by your side, bro. Blood on blood. And your wife is an amazing woman, by the way. Connie, I dig you too. Use good peoples for putting up with him for so many years. 17 years, almost 18 years. These guys are, in like a month, they're going to be 18 years. You don't see that kind of dedication. You don't see that kind of courage to pick your battles, to overcome adversity as a couple. You know, and they've gone through some stuff and come out stronger and better, and I hope that Allison and I can someday have 17 and 18 and 20 and 25, you know? So Connie and Scott, thank you for that example. I love you guys. That was number one reason. The second big reason why I was wanting to come to this thing is back in the day, one of my good friends was Chris Raveling. Like I said, I didn't have a lot of friends. My family... one sec. I have to apologize for looking all around and stuff. Since I don't have my glasses on, I can't focus on one thing, so I'm looking over here, and then I'm looking down, and I'm looking here, and I'm looking there, and it's hard for me to know where to focus since I can't really see shit right now. So I'm really sorry about that. But I digress. Back to the story that none of you even care about, but I do. So you have to. Back in the day, Chris Raveling was one of those guys that invited me over to his house, man. Not too many people did that. Eric Johnson was one, and Eric Johnson, I still to this day, he's one of my top 3 best friends in this world, even though through the years, you know, we've kind of lost contact, and and haven't kept up on each other's lives or anything like that. But man, if I lived closer, if I lived anywhere near Iowa, him and Gene, I'd be involved in their lives heavily. You know why? Because I'd want to be. That's why. They are people of integrity that I look up to, I admire, and I respect greatly, and I love them dearly. It was cool because I got to hang out with them for a couple hours too. I got to meet their sons, who are freaking amazing guys, and they got to meet my wife and son as well. So that was kind of cool, and spent a couple hours just talking, shooting the ship hoop and whatnot. Back to Chris. Chris was one of those guys who would invite me over to his house, and they lived on a farm, but I don't think that they were like farmers. I can't specifically remember. But they had like a barn, they had some animals, and all that. He was the guy that first put a gun in my hand when I was in high school and took me shooting, which is kind of cool. And I don't care if the government wants to take my imaginary guns away or my memories of guns because some dipshit took some guns and killed some people. Government needs to lighten up. But I digress again. Chris Raveling. I love that kid. Back in the day, he was one of my closest friends. He actually took time to be my friend. And I sound like a sad sack. I wasn't a sad sack. Like I said, I was kind of a loner. I only had a few handful. You could count my close friends, and they weren't even that super close. You could count them on two hands. Chris was one of them. And anyways, sometimes I go over to his house. Sometimes he'd come over to ours. There were times we didn't have a house, we had an apartment, and it wasn't exactly the cleanest thing, and it wasn't, obviously we didn't have a lot, so there wasn't much to do, but he still came over and still hung out with me, and I love and respect him for that. One night, I was over at his house, and my family, we didn't have any video game systems back then. I think Chris had like an Atari or whatever. An Atari, folks. If you don't know what that is, I'm too old, you're too young, or just go Wikipedia, look it up. Google it. Anyways, he had a video game system, and I remember playing a game one night. I can't remember which one it was. It might have been Pitfall, it might have been Secrets of the Pharaoh, whatever, something. And I was playing this. Now, Chris knew that I was a Christian, and that I loved God, and I knew about God, and all those things. And he started asking me questions that night. And I kept like saying, yeah, dude, yeah, we'll talk about that later, but here, show me how to play this game, or just let me play this game, let me finish this level, or whatever. I kept shooting him down with his questions, and I could see that it bothered him. He really wanted to know. He had a heart that wanted to know about God, and here I had a chance, and I didn't take advantage of that. How often is it in high school that you're going to have somebody who's curious about your spirituality? It doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. It's like, seeing a shooting star on a night when there's not a whole bunch of comets flying by or whatever. It's not one of those nights where it's non-stop shooting stars. It's like finding a four-leaf clover in a patch of clover. It's rare. And I didn't take advantage. And I didn't really feel like I was letting God down. But after the fact, years later, it's always bothered me. It's always kind of made me go, man, I had this opportunity and I totally blew it. Chris wanted to know about my spirituality, and I shut him down and said, you know what, this video game that you have is more important to me. And I've never been able to let that go. I don't have a lot of regrets in my life. That was at the top of the list. I didn't let God down. I let Chris Raveling down. And so I was really hoping that he was going to be at this reunion, and he was, man. And so I'm like, sweet. Scott Smith was the one that saw him. He's like, dude, Chris is here. And I'm like, awesome. I get to talk to him. So later on that night, last night at the reunion, Chris came over and we started talking, man. And I didn't jump right in and say, dude, remember that night? We talked some small talk, and I asked him, about his family, and he asked me about mine and stuff. And then I'm like, bro, I gotta tell you about this one thing. It's weighing heavily on me. And I basically told him what I told you guys, just now. And he was like, oh, don't worry about it. It was no big deal. And I'm like, maybe not to you, but to me it was huge. To me, it's something I've never been able to let go. And Chris, I gotta ask you forgiveness, bro. You wanted to know about God, and I didn't pony up, man. I didn't give you what you were needing at that time. You were a great friend to me, and I was a shitty friend to you in that moment. And I just got to ask your forgiveness, bro. It was really no big deal. Yeah, you keep saying that, but it was to me. It means a lot to me that you're here right now, and I get to apologize. Not so I can get this regret off my back, or this monkey, and shoot him in the head, and finally, that regret's done. Because I genuinely am so sorry that I wasn't a better friend to you at that time. It was really cool to have that moment with him and let him know how sorry I was, and that I was wrong at that time. That was the second big thing about this reunion that I was looking forward to and was able to accomplish and get to see through. And so anyways, it was a good night. I had a lot of fun. I'm so thankful that we made this trip out here, and I got to see family, and I got to see friends that I haven't seen in 25 years. Never thought that I would say that I was going to enjoy this. Never thought that I would say that I did enjoy it. I had a damn good time seeing all the people that I saw, relatives that I haven't seen in 20 years, and again, friends that I know are going to be friends for the long haul now. That I know I can go to them, they can come to me, and that kind of thing. Even with me swearing, being that dude, that Christian guy who swears, talks about his poo, there's more to me than my bad language. There's more to me than my poo. If you take the time to get to know, you're going to find that out. And I hope if you're watching this, you do take the time. Let's get acquainted. Let's be friends. Yeah, I think that's it. I heard my son wailing, crying from the bathroom. Allison's giving him a bath. He's got this rash, and we're trying to take care of it, and we don't know what's going on with his skin, and it sucks. When you have a kid, and they're going through some physical ailment, you can't take care of it, and you don't know what it is because the doctors don't. They just say, oh yeah, give him this, and it should clear up in a couple weeks, and it gets worse. And they give him something else. Oh yeah, give him a couple weeks, and maybe a month, and it'll clear up. And it doesn't. You would do anything for that kid. And my heart is breaking for my son. It's not life or death that we know of, but I'm still concerned about this rash and these bumps that he's got on his leg. And I'm hoping, I'm praying that we'll be able to figure out what it is, and that we can stop torturing him with this medicine and everything we're having to do to try to take care of this ailment that he's got. Breaks my heart. So anyways, I love you guys. Everyone at the reunion, even if I didn't talk to you, we didn't get a chance to talk. Brett Vanderpool, it was cool talking to you too, bro. Amy and Kelly, it was cool seeing you guys there. Deb Rubish, even though that's not your last name anymore, I can't remember what it is, I'm sorry. You look the same as you did 25 years ago. For reals, you were like, out of everyone there, you look exactly the same, Deb. I was like, wow, there's Deb. So didn't get a chance to get over there and talk to you. Didn't take the chance, and I'm sorry about that. But everyone who was there last night. I had a blast. My wife, she had a good time, relatively speaking. And thank you for giving me a reason to come back in 5 years for the next one. All right. I love you guys. Love. Boobies. Much respect. Later. Peace out.